Namaste, it's Evelina here. Welcome to this introduction to Ayurveda. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you what actually is Ayurveda. I'm gonna guide you through its foundations and as well explain to you how you can apply its principles into your daily life so you can feel more in tune with your body, with your mind, and with everything what is surrounding you. So, what is actually Ayurveda? Ayurveda is ancient health system which originates from India. And the main aim, the main goal of Ayurveda is health. And in here we're looking at it very differently than we are looking in health in our nowadays medicine system in the Western world. So Ayurveda focuses on preventing the disease instead of curing the disease. So it focuses on that to just live in tune with your surroundings, to listen to your body, to be fully present with yourself in order to remain healthy instead of curing the existing disease. And also how Ayurveda would be curing if the disease, if it would be already existing. It would not be at all like in our medicine system that we have a pill basically for everything. So according to Ayurveda, we want to really know how the disease happened to the particular person. And then we want to remove the root cause of the disease in order to treat that person, not that disease. So Ayurveda is not treating the disease, it's treating the particular person with the particular disease. Because maybe person A has completely different reason for having certain disease than person B, which is having the same disease. But their reason might be completely different. So giving them the same medicine might work only for one of them and for the other completely work in the opposite way. So there is one very simple and very beautiful definition of health which I really like, and it comes from Kasyapa. So according to Kasyapa, we can say that we are healthy if 6 different elements are proper. So those 6 elements are our hunger, our digestion, our elimination, our sleep, our wake up, and lightness, which we're supposed to feel after waking up. So just let's have a look a little deeper into those. So what does it mean that somebody has proper hunger? If you are feeling that you just ate something and right after that you are still hungry, you're not feeling fulfilled, or maybe you keep craving for the food over and over again, or you don't have appetite at all of those are imbalances of your hunger basically. Then let's have a look at digestion. Is your digestion working properly? Are you able to digest the food which you are consuming easily and then absorb the nutrients which are coming out of that food? Or maybe you are struggling with certain digestive problems, which is coming later to elimination. Is the elimination of your waste proper in your body? Are you going to the toilet regularly? Is it only once per day or maybe 3 times, 4 times, 5 times per day? Is your stool in the proper consistency, or you're struggling with diarrhea or with the constipations on the other hand? Is the elimination of the urine, of the sweat, working properly in your body? So these are all the elements which we want to analyze in here. Then thinking about proper sleep, proper wake up and lightness after waking up. Are you having a problems to fall asleep? Or maybe you are sleeping just for a little bit, then waking up several times during the night. Or maybe you're going to sleep and sleeping for 10 hours, 12 hours, and then you still feel tired and you feel like you would like to sleep more. So you're having issues with waking up. After that, is that sleep really making you feel refreshed and rested? Or when you are sleeping, you're still having 1 million thoughts coming to your head because you're not able to fall into that deep sleep which is supposed to give you a proper rest. And then, are you struggling with waking up in the morning? Maybe you are putting 10 different alarms and then you still keep putting next nap, next one, because you're not feeling ready to wake up. You're still feeling tired. And are you feeling lightness after waking up? Is your body in the state which is indicating that you are ready for the day, that you are rested, that you are energized? Is the food which you consumed last night already digested, or you still feel heavy on your stomach? So all the 6 elements are there, according to Kasyapa, to indicate if we are healthy or not. And if any of those elements is out of balance, it's to indicate us that something should be changed to bring our body back to balance, to bring ourselves back to balance. So according to Ayurveda, if something goes out of balance, we wouldn't straight away give them medicine. Like we have a medicine again, as I mentioned, in our nowadays world, where we just go to pharmacy and we can pop different pill for different issue. In here, you would first always look at your present situation. So first of all, you would like to correct your diet. Second of all, correct your lifestyle. And if they are not working, then as a last solution, you would give the medicine, which would be a medicine which is proper for your own issue. According to Ayurveda, everything in our world, including ourselves, is made out of 5 different elements, which are space, air, fire, water, and earth. And out of those 5 elements, 3 doshas, 3 energies are made. So those 3 energies is Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And I know it might sound very confusing right now, but let's look a little deeper into that. So according to Ayurveda, each of us has all those 5 elements in our body, and as well those 3 doshas, those Vata, Pitta, and Kapha energy, as I mentioned. So when we are born, we have a certain percentage of different doshas, of those 3 doshas in our body, which after that, when we are going through our life, is constantly changing because it's being influenced by all the outside and inside conditions. It's being influenced by our lifestyle, by our diet, by the climate in which we are in the very moment, by the stress level, by the emotions, by everything what is in our life. So let's have a deeper look into 3 doshas. The first one is called Vata and is mix of space and air. You can think of it as wind, so it's easier to remember. Second one is fire. Again, it's easier to think of it just as a fire to simplify, but it's basically a mix of fire and water energy. And then the third energy is called Kapha. And Kapha is earth together with water. So let's have a look at Vata. Vata, this wind energy. Just think of it how your body is feeling if you have too much wind in your body, in the physical perspective. So if you have too much wind in your body, you would experience dryness, because how is the wind? Wind is dry, is light, is constantly moving, constantly changing direction. So when we have too much wind in our body, for example, we might struggle with feeling constantly bloated because we have too much wind in our belly. Then you might struggle with constipations because you have a dryness in your intestine. Then another symptom might be dry skin, dry hair, because the dryness is also external. Then how you could observe when there is too much wind in your mind? For example, these are people who are having 1 million different ideas per minute. They are starting to do everything, but not completing any of those actions. So maybe reading 5 books in the moment and not finishing any of them. Or starting one project and dropping it in the middle and going already to another one. Because they are constantly changing, like wind, which is constantly moving, is unpredictable. So this is when this Vata energy is out of balance. However, on the other hand, if Vata energy would be balanced, these people are very creative. They are having a lot of beautiful ideas, which they are able to bring into their reality when their Vata is in balance. However, if it's out of balance, they might struggle with all those issues which we just mentioned. And thinking about the mind of Vata, so Vata would be always somewhere flying with their mind in the future, in the space, as is space and air. So they would be all the time thinking about what's gonna come, what's gonna happen. They have difficulty to stay grounded and present because they are all the time thinking about what's gonna come. Anytime they are doing some certain thing, they are already thinking of the next step of what's gonna come, what's gonna be. So the anxiety is the big issue for them. How would you like to balance Vata? So the meals, for example, which they are eating, this would be usually very, very health conscious people, which are sure that they are eating healthily, that they are having a all natural diet. Very often people who are practicing yoga actually, who are maybe vegan, raw vegan. And how does it work? So Vata, as we said, that it's light and dry. Exactly like this would be the food of person who has too much Vata, would be light, would be dry. For example, all the raw vegetables, raw salad, raw smoothies, all the green smoothies which I made of this raw and light leaves, like for example kale or spinach. Then the same about granola, about nuts and seeds, like all of those things which are considered in our world that they are healthy. They can be still healthy. I'm not telling that they are not healthy, but if we are having too much of certain thing, it will obviously cause some imbalance. So how would you like to balance that too high Vata energy with the meals? You would try to have something what is warming you up instead of cooling you. Instead of this dryness, you need to add some more oil, some more warmth, so then your body can be more in balance. So this could be meals which you would be naturally craving during the autumn time when it's dry and cold outside. You could warm up yourself with some warming up soups and warm curries, maybe some pumpkins, sweet potatoes. These are really excellent, excellent things for balancing Vata, as well as spices. So Ayurveda has so many different spices, and we'll have a little deeper look into that. But for Vata, excellent spices would be cumin. Cumin, which is reducing the bloatness in the body. It's very warming, so it helps with the digestion as well for Vata. As well as ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, cardamom. There are so many different spices which we can use in here. Now let's have a look at Pitta, which is the fire energy. So Pitta, if you just think of the person who has too much fire in them, you can just imagine how that person would feel like. So if they have too much fire burning in them, their digestion might be very, very quick. So whatever they are eating, whatever they are consuming, they are eliminating straight away. So maybe they are struggling with diarrhea because that digestive fire is too powerful for them. And they are not even absorbing the nutrients out of the food because it's just going through them. Then another symptom of having too high Pitta would be feeling hot all the time because you have too much fire in you and it's going out through you. So maybe excessive sweating as well, feeling all the time that you are feeling hot. Redness on the skin, acne, all of those things, the inflammation on the skin is also a signal that the fire is going out. Maybe a heartburn when you are feeling that burning sensation after the meal. Then let's have a look at how would be the mind of a person who has too high Pitta. So they would be very, very fiery. Maybe something little happened, they are straight away going to react emotionally. So they can quickly get angry if something is going out of their idea, how it's supposed to be. They are reacting straight away. So as I mentioned that Vata would be more in the future with their mind, Pitta would be like completely present, let's say. So they would straight away react without thinking of the consequences. And then after the time they are thinking, oh, maybe I should not done it in that way. But then it's already too late to change it. So Pitta is that powerful, powerful, strong energy. And if it's in balance, these people are excellent managers, they are having a beautiful organization skills, they are great leaders. They just know how to make the things which they want to come true. However, if their Pitta is out of balance, they can feel that fire bombing too much out of them. So how would be the diet of the person who has too much Pitta? Just think of it like having too much fire. So basically having too much spicy foods, too much hot food, too much fiery food, maybe as well too much meat, alcohol, all of that is bringing Pitta, bringing fire even more up. So for the person who has too much Pitta, if you would like to balance it a little bit, you would add some more cooling things for them. So maybe in here you would add a little bit of that what Vata has too much. So you could give them some more salad, some more light and gentle foods instead of all the spiciness and hotness which they are having all the time in them. And now let's have a look at the third energy, which is Kapha. Kapha, which is earth and water. But let's think about it as the energy of earth, of Mother Earth, which is constantly giving and giving. So the person who has too much Kapha, they would be very grounded, very earthy, very slow and steady, because that's how the earth is, right? It's steady, it's solid, it's calm, is kind of resistant to changes as well. So this could be excellent example of a loving mom, which is always giving to all her kids, to all her family, but maybe sometimes forgetting about herself. So constantly giving, but not allowing herself to receive. So these people would be very often excellent listeners. They might be that person who you are always coming to say everything what is feeling heavy on your heart, and they are always there for you to listen, to be there for you. So the Kapha people, they are very prone to depression, to feeling sad. So sometimes they seem to be happy and peaceful on the outside, but they have difficulties with expressing their own feelings. So they might be storing a lot of sadness, a lot of pain, literally under their skin. So they might also have a little bit of additional kilograms, which they are really struggling to lose, even if they are thinking that maybe they are not eating much, but still they cannot lose weight. So they might as well have some issues with expressing themselves, with the communication, with saying what they really want, what they really think. Maybe they are keeping too many things for themselves instead of sharing what is inside of them. So the Kapha mind would be very, very stuck in the past. So if you are thinking about the Vata, which is constantly thinking of what's going to come, what's going to happen, they are having anxiety. Then thinking of Pitta, which is completely present because they are reacting straight away without thinking of consequences. And then we have Kapha on the other hand, which is so stuck in their past that they have difficulty to let go of some things which they are still holding on to. Maybe some ex-partner, maybe some ex-job, maybe anything what happened in their past, they are still holding on to that, and they are very resistant to changes. So this is if Kapha is out of balance. However, if Kapha energy is in balance, these are the most beautiful, loving, steady, grounded, powerful people. So as I said that if Vata has idea, they have really difficulty to manage it because they have 1 million of different ideas. Kapha, on the other hand, if they have some idea, they would really analyze step by step what do they need to do to get into that, and then they would breathe like a solid bridge and slowly walk towards it, slowly but surely and safely. Now let's analyze diet of Kapha. So Kapha energy, as I said, is solid, steady, slow, is also oily. So you would like to avoid all this kind of foods for them. They would need a little bit more lightness, a little bit more spiciness, a little bit more hotness to warm up and to just become more energizing, to just become more energetic. So they need a little bit of this fire of Pitta, a little bit of this lightness of Vata. So you would need to mix and match in here a little bit. Definitely they should be avoiding any kind of mucus causing foods. So all the milky things like yogurts and ice creams, anything what is like really cooling for their system and mucus causing. They would like to be avoiding that. And you would like to add more lightness and more spices, as I mentioned. So spices, they are really excellent for kapha. Basically all kinds of spices like ginger, turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, black pepper, cayenne pepper, chili, all of those spices, they are really excellent for kapha because they need a little bit more fire to just bring more heat into their body. As I mentioned at the beginning, we all have all of those three energies in our bodies, in our minds, and they are constantly changing because of outside and inside conditions. So if you just see that one of those energies is going out of balance, Ayurveda can help you to bring it back to balance. I would like to also mention about using of the oils, which is one of the Ayurveda basics, basically. Ayurveda uses very widely ghee. Ghee, which is a clarified butter. So it's basically you're taking butter and you're removing everything out of it, what is not fat. So only pure fat is remaining. And this fat, this ghee, is one of the easiest digestible fats for human. That's why Ayurveda is using it basically for everything, for cooking, for health treatments, for so many things, and it's really beneficial for us. As well, it has very high burning point, so basically it's resistant for the high temperatures. So if you would take certain oils, let's say olive oil, which is excellent, but for using raw or cooking in the low temperatures, because if we're frying olive oil in the high temperature, it just burns and becomes toxic for us. On the other hand, ghee is very resistant for the high temperatures, and you can easily use it for cooking because it's not gonna burn. So ghee could be used for each of the doshas. It's tridoshic. Now let's have a look at coconut oil. Coconut oil, which similarly to ghee, it has very high burning point, so also it's resistant to the for the high temperatures, and you can easily use it for cooking as well in here. Coconut oil is excellent oil for Pitta because it has a cooling properties. So Pitta would use it for cooking, for applying on the skin as the cosmetic, using for oil pulling, which I'm gonna explain to you maybe in some other video, but it's basically one of the morning routines. So you can take, let's say 1 tablespoon of coconut oil to your mouth and just use it as kind of a mouthwash. So holding that oil in your mouth, doing that for around 20 minutes ideally. Although if you have less time, you can do it for a little shorter. But it basically pulls out all the bacteria out of your mouth, all the bacteria which your body put out during the night, and it helps to clean all the toxins from the area of your mouth, which is the first point of your digestive system. So it also helps with your digestion. Let's have a look also at different oils. So the best advisable oil for Vata would be sesame oil, which is very heating, very warming. So this is what Vata really needs. And as well, you can again use ghee for each of the doshas. And for Kapha, which oil they are advising is a mustard oil. So mustard is the most heating oil in here. And they also advise it even to apply for the chest. For example, if you have any kind of breathing issues, any asthmatic problems, applying the warm mustard oil on the chest, it can help with all those issues. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed that introduction to Ayurveda. I really hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can always let me know, and I will do my best to assist you. Thank you so much. Water, which is basically